welcome back to Book Nerd TV, and have I got a story for you. I recently listened to The Mother of Black Hollywood by Jenifer Lewis. Jenifer Lewis published her memoir, Mother of Black Hollywood, in 2017. If I remember correctly, I purchased Miss Lewis's book in early 2018. And I listened to it then in early 2018. Jenifer Lewis is a stage actress. She is a screen actress, television actress. She's also a singer and just a born entertainer. The first time I remember seeing Jenifer Lewis was on A Different World, and she played the Diva Dean. I think this was maybe the last 2 or 3 seasons of the show. And I loved her. I loved her character. And I also just loved her energy and her expression. She was great. She was fabulous, of course. And so, therefore, Diva Dean. That makes sense. I don't remember quite where I heard about the memoir for Miss Lewis. I don't know if it was something on the internet or if it was one of the podcasts I listened to. But at any rate, I do remember that I heard about the book and I was interested in it. I subscribe to Audible, and one of the books that's available for purchase is Mother of Black Hollywood. And I think it noted somewhere in there that Jenifer Lewis also did the narration. So I thought, yeah, let me go ahead and purchase this book because I enjoyed her presence on screen, on television. And so I thought, the audiobook's probably going to be great. Literally, the first scene in the book is Miss Lewis standing on the soundstage for Blackish, about to shoot her first scene. And from there, Miss Lewis flashes us back to her childhood in Kinloch, Missouri. From when she was like 4 or 5 years old, and she wanted to sing a song in the either Christmas program or the Easter program. It was one of those two. And she puts on this amazing performance as like a 4 or 5 year old girl, and she says that's where she kind of realized, wait a minute, I have this ability and I have this audience. People seem to love it. I'm home already at 4 or 5. She already knew she was going to be a star. And so we, through her flashbacks, moved from her in high school staging talent shows and charging for them and taking all the money to her moving through to college. And from college, she moves on to the big city, to New York, where she just lands in New York, just ready to take over. And it seems to me that she was either prepared or quite lucky or a combination of both to land in New York and to be able to fairly quickly find an apartment, affordable place to live, and find employment. And so she goes on to tell us about the gypsies that she meets. And so in this case, gypsies is not pejorative. Gypsies is what the dancers, singers, actors who work on Broadway, off Broadway, who work on the stage in New York apparently call themselves. And so she finds this community of like-minded entertainers, and her career starts to take off. And so you get information about some of the smaller plays that she worked on, some of the larger opportunities that she gets during her time in New York. And sort of New York is like the proving ground for her, like it is, of course, a lot of people. I mean, it's New York. So we get these little interesting vignettes of the people that she runs into. Some are names you would recognize, some are names you might not. You may have kind of heard of them, and they may kind of spark something, because some of the names of the people that she mentions, like I've heard that name before, but some, of course, I instantly recognize. It's through her work on the various stages in New York. She was even part of like the road company that took these various and sundry plays on the road across America. It's through this work that Miss Lewis is noticed by, talent agents, managers, and one Miss Bette Midler. So she treats us to vignettes and stories about her time with Bette Midler. And I think it's also in this time. And so she's had hints, various and sundry places, workplace issues, interpersonal issues for certain, that they're she may be a little high strung at the very least. Bette Midler, I think, is one of the first people that tells her, you maybe could use some therapy. You're a lot, and there's a reason why you're a lot. I think she kind of hears her, but she doesn't hear her. Now, Miss Lewis is, again, she wants to be a star, and she's doing really well with her work on the stage and across the country and the road tours with the stage work. But she realizes in order for her to maybe have that star rise even higher, California may be the place to be. So she moves herself to California, gets an agent out there. While she's in California and she's going out for this role and for that role, and she gets some and she doesn't get others. But what she's starting to realize is that force of nature persona that she had on the stage, that she needed to project herself to an audience on stage, really isn't what's necessary when you're really just acting on a smaller screen, be it movies or television. At the same time, she really is beginning to understand that there's something going on, there's something wrong. So she finally relents and goes to seek therapy. And therapy is where she has to deal with a lot of the things that she encountered in her family of origin, with her mother, kind of with her father, and just the various and sundry things that she experienced growing up. She also has to I think it is no secret that Miss Lewis is bipolar. And when she gets that diagnosis of being bipolar, I think this is true for a lot of people. Even when you get the diagnosis, even when you've suspected, okay, there's something going on, even when you go to a healthcare specialist and they tell you this is what's going on with you, there's still this element of denial. And she has to come to grips with her thinking, well, I don't need the psychotherapy, and or I don't need the drugs that are prescribed to me, or I can do without the drugs, or I can handle. She has to go through coming to grips with and understanding and truly integrating into her mind that she does have this bipolar disorder, that it is a real thing, and that it is something that she must handle on a daily basis in order to stay well, because she details in the book how unwell she became. This memoir is by no means doom and gloom and poor, pitiful me. It is also not a kiss and tell book, although it is true that she also had a sex addiction. And she tells you about the escapades that happened, across her life. So, but it remains entertaining, even though she's telling us about the bipolar, about the sexual escapades. She even has, as the AIDS epidemic began to blossom and grow. So let's remember, she was working in New York in the entertainment industry. So an incredible amount of people that she knew started to get sick and die from the disease. And that is a sobering part of her memoir. Very heartfelt, very touching. She also tells us, well, I'm not going to spoil everything for you, because I think that whether you read the book or whether you listen it, I highly recommend that you listen to the audiobook, because again, it is Miss Lewis doing the narration, so you get the drama, of her personality. You get that force of nature personality coming through the narration. There are also some just very tender moments about the love of her life, about her grandmother, and other people who really touched her. And you get a sense of the pain and the joy and the life that Miss Lewis has lived. What did they say? Life hasn't been a crystal stair. It wasn't a crystal stair for her, although I believe Miss Lewis, this is what I took from the book. Jenifer Lewis knew she was destined to be a star. And that force of personality, that belief, propelled her to a wonderful career on stage, on screen, on television. And while everything may not have come out exactly as she dreamed it when she was younger, in my mind, she has had just an amazing career. She's got to work with some wonderful people. She got to work with Gregory Hines on stage. She got to work with Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington on The Preacher's Wife. She got to work with Janet Jackson and Tupac. She got to work with the cast of A Different World and all the wonderful people who are associated with that. And that's a great series. If you have not watched it, you need to watch it. And of course, coming all the way to present, she's got to work with the cast of Blackish and sort of those wonderful adults. And she's got to work with those wonderful young people working on Blackish as well. And Marsai Martin is going to rule the world, mark my words. The memoir is touching and heartfelt and entertaining. And I think that if you are a fan of Jenifer Lewis, you are going to love this book. And if you're not a fan of Jenifer Lewis, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? If you have not watched Jackie's Back, you can probably find it on YouTube. I think it was originally on Lifetime, so it may still be in rotation on Lifetime or on Hulu or on the YouTube. You need to find this movie and you need to watch it because Jenifer Lewis, Tim Curry, need I say more? This is, at this point, the movie Jackie's Back is a cult classic. I saw it when it first came on Lifetime. Oh my gosh. I was 12 though. I promise I was 12. I saw it when it first came on Lifetime and I enjoyed the heck out of that movie. So if you haven't watched that movie, you absolutely need to. If you are a fan of Jenifer Lewis, you are of course going to love this book, whether you read it or whether you listen to it. If you only have a nodding acquaintance of Jenifer Lewis, because she has played the mother of almost every Black Hollywood star on the planet at this point, really. If you want to listen to or read an entertaining memoir about her, about a life of a person in the entertainment industry coping with mental health issues, I think that this book is perfect for you. And if in general you like memoir, I think you'll enjoy this book as well. And if I didn't say so already, I highly recommend you get yourself a copy of The Mother of Black Hollywood. And it's going to appear right here, or it's going to appear right here, maybe. We'll see where it appears. It's going to appear right here, or it's going to appear right here. One of the two. And if I can manage to switch it around while I'm doing this, it'll be cute. Well, that's all I have for you today, book nerds. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave me a like. If you're enjoying the content thus far, please go ahead and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And if you want to be notified when I post these videos, go ahead and click the notification bell. No matter how busy you are in the day, remember there is always time to read. I'll see you guys later.